Hi, I'm Mike with the School of Self-Reliance, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Ontario SP46 and SP47. This is the 47 and this is the 46. They're both about 6-inch blades. They are both made of 5160 spring steel. These two knives were provided to me by Dan Maragni over at Ontario Knife Company. He's the designer of these knives. Now, Dan has been working in the knife industry for an extremely long time. He is a prolific knife designer and an extremely knowledgeable guy. Google his name and a whole bunch of stuff will come up with qualifications. But he designed the entire Spec-Plus Gen 2 line, came up with the grinding process, the heat treat, everything like that. Really put a lot of thought into these knives. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut a little bit with these. The SP47 is a saber grind, and the SP46 is an almost full flat grind. Both of these knives are pretty thick. They're not 1/4 inch thick, but they're fairly thick. I don't remember what the thickness is. I'll put a bubble in the video. But we're going to go ahead and cut a little bit with them, use them for what knives are intended to be used for, and see how they do. I've got the SP47, the saber grind, and we're going to feather a little bit with it. It will certainly make shavings. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to feather, to really feather with. Although if I really try, I can get the work done. Not the best feather stick in the world, but that's pretty good. Now the 46, as you can see, instantly a whole lot better. And that's because of the full flat grind. The blade is simply a little thinner where the metal meets the wood, and so therefore making these finer shavings and actually getting the control that you need, the knife will let you do that. Not bad at all. Not bad. You know, this wasn't bad. This is certainly better. It hacks, bites fairly deep. This wood broke right in half, no problem. Fairly clean cut. This one has a lot more mass behind it. Fairly clean cut, did good work. I've noticed that this one with the extra heft seems to like to just power into things, you know. It does a real nice job. The flat grind one, it bites deep. You have to give it a little bit more force, but boy, it does really bite and sink right into the wood. We're going to go ahead and take a walk, and we're going to chop some standing wood with both of these knives, see how they do. All right, we've got the SP47. Trees, oh, I don't know, about 5 inches around, something like that. It's biting good and deep, but it bites right up to the point of the saber grind and kind of stops.
Daddy, stop biting. Oh.
That wasn't too terrible. Okay, now we got the Ontario SP46. Pretty good. Deep bites. Bites deeper than the 47. Again, it's the full flat grind that's doing that. It's a little better. Took a little less effort. Sorry for the pause there for a second. But, you know, some people are going to baton with these knives. You know, I don't really recommend batoning. To me, that's about the thickest piece of wood you ever need to baton. To make a fire hearth or something like that for a bow drill set. But that's another video. Okay, we got the SP47. This is that tree that we cut down. We're going to go ahead and just limb some of this. Really not doing bad at all. Actually doing great. The thicker the limb, the more trouble you have because of that saber grind. You know, once it starts to get thick, the blade bites and stops. Get the SP47 or 46, the full flat grind.
Cut tree.
And as you can see, a whole lot easier, a lot cleaner cuts. Generally a 1 or 2 shot deal. We're back to the 47. Still not bad at all. 46 is probably a little quicker, a little cleaner, but on these smaller limbs, this has enough heft that you really don't have to sling it as hard. And because the blade doesn't really get a chance to bite up to that saber grind, it doesn't stop. It just makes a nice clean cut. So they're both really nice knives. We'll go back over to our log. We'll do a couple things with them and I'll give you my closing thoughts. What we're going to do is I'm going to cut with both of these knives directly into this wood and show you the difference in the depth that they'll both penetrate. As you can see, they both bit really, really nicely. But if you look at this one, the wood's starting to push out both sides, and that's because of that saber grind. It's hitting that saber grind and starting to peel away where it hasn't done that here yet. So this one might even be able to get a little deeper if I really, really tried. Yeah, this one's probably a little bit deeper, but only marginally. But this really is the end of this one's cutting capability as far as chopping, because, like I said, it's starting to push the wood to act like a wedge because of that saber grind, where this one hasn't. Now, if you are going to do splitting activities, this one's probably the one that you want. And if you're not, then this one's probably the one that you want. The SP46, if you're not going to baton or not going to split, then this is probably the one. And the SP47 is probably the one you want if you are going to do some batoning or splitting, which I don't recommend the splitting. Batoning is small pieces of wood and small trees. But this one, if you're going to do any kind of splitting or batoning, this is your one. If you're not, this is probably it for you. This is the SP47.
Mom, check it.
This is the SP46. Anyway, it stalled up a couple of times. The other one stalled up a little bit more on chopping. But, you know, really honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these knives. I kind of like them both. I really don't have a favorite when it comes to it. And I've been using these now for a couple of weeks. And I like them both. Even though they're not necessarily, you know, my 7-inch knife that I normally like, these are both sturdy, well-made little pieces of kit that will do the work for you. And they don't cost a whole lot. They're very economical. I'm not going to talk about the sheath because, as we all know, Ontario knife sheaths are crap. They're really terrible. I'm going to just briefly kind of go through it. As you can tell, sheath's way too big for the knife. Both knives come with the exact identical sheath. It does have MOLLE capability or PALS webbing capability on the back. It does have a plastic liner, but okay, they didn't spend a lot of money on the sheath. The money went into the knife. This is utilitarian, it will function. Beyond that, it's nothing that I like and nothing that I particularly want to use. But I do think that both of these knives are worthy of getting a piece of Kydex made for them or buying a Spec-Ops sheath for them. You know, something else. And, you know, if you're in the market for a 6-inch survival knife and you've got something in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 bucks to spend, boy, you could do a whole lot worse than any one of these two knives. I'm not just saying that because they were given to me by Dan Maragni. I'm not. They're well designed. They're well made. They're made out of quality material. And I think they represent value for your dollar. I also think the Becker line represents value for your dollar. But these, you know, the Beckers are going up in price. These are not. And they're excellent knives. They're made of good material, and they were well thought through by the man who built them. So I think there's a lot of value there, and I think it's a piece of kit that's worth considering, either one of them, the SP46 or SP47 Gen 2. Once again, I'm Mike with the School of Self-Reliance. If you like what we do, like us on Facebook, watch our videos, share our videos. Thanks for watching.